The age of the universe is an important but a secondary topic for Christians. It's important because it relates to how we understand Genesis. It's important because it's how we understand the intersection of science and faith. But it's secondary because what you believe about the age of the earth has nothing to do with whether you are saved or not. There always has been, and probably always will be within the Christian church, disagreement about how old the earth is. And people point to science and they point towards theology. One of the reasons I found that a lot of Christians don't believe in the Big Bang Theory is because they think it contradicts with the book of Genesis. Now, it does contradict with a certain interpretation of Genesis, but not necessarily the book of Genesis itself, given the range of interpretations that Christians have held since the early church. I think a second reason why people dismiss the Big Bang Theory is they think it carries with it a certain naturalistic understanding of the world, that the Big Bang means there is no God. But I found that people who are that quick to dismiss it don't really understand what the Big Bang Theory is, what the evidence is for it, and in fact, why many Christians who are scientists embrace it, because it actually seems to line up with what the Bible teaches, that the universe itself had a beginning. So this is an area where Christians have freedom, so to speak, to interpret Genesis differently within certain confines, and also to understand the scientific data. So, important issue, but let's not lose what we have in common and our unity that transcends our differences about how old the earth is. What I'd say to a non-believer struggling with Genesis and science is good for you for taking these issues seriously and being willing to struggle with it. Realize, though, that there's a range of views within broad Christendom that one can hold. Now, we believe the Bible's true. We believe God is the creator, but how to interpret Genesis and that intersection with modern science, there always has been and there always will be a range of different views within Christendom. So if somebody's told you have to hold this one view to be a Christian, they've simply misinformed you. To Christians who are debating this, I'd say keep debating it. A lot's at stake. Again, how we interpret the first book in the Bible and how we understand the intersection of science and faith. But don't debate it at the expense of Christian charity. Don't debate it at the expense of Christian unity. When it's all said and done, if you're a believer in Jesus, you believe God is a creator, you believe the Bible is true and authoritative, and you believe Jesus rose from the grave. So let's debate these issues, but not die on secondary issues. And remember the larger task that God has called us to love our fellow Christians and to reach out and engage a non-believing world.